You better wake up and get it. Ain't got no time for no quitting. Your pockets might be on midget, but that's called temporary digit. Get off the couch and get lifted and say that this how we did it. Cause it all started with a podcast called Separate Living. Let's go.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Separate Living Podcast with the one and only Cam Campbell. And today I have a special guest, Jeryn.
Hello.
And today's topic is, what are you doing? So what are you doing? I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into it with a quote that says, if you want to succeed, you have to jump. There's no way around it. You're safe. If you're safe, you'll never soar, by Steve Harvey. And I feel as if listening to that quote is simply saying, if you don't jump, then you won't survive. You have to jump in order to go. And in order for you to do that, you have to learn that when I make my move, it's time to make my move. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing? You jumping? Or you going to let that boat sink?
I'm going to jump.
You going to let it boat? You going to let it sink?
No, I'm going
You
to
gonna
turn
do
my
it?
back and, set that thing on fire, throw a match.
Oh, well, okay.
Be gone.
All right. So whenever we're saying, what are you doing? We're simply asking, what are you doing as far as your relationship with your family or your friends? So that means, what are you doing as far as whenever you go around a certain person or whenever you go around your family member, have you ever noticed having that moment of, you allow that person to like irritate you? Like, you just like, you had that weird moment of like, why are you here?
You're right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you allowing yourself to have that?
Right.
Like, what are you doing to allow them to get into your personal, your personal life like that? Like, your relationship with your family member would be, if I have a cousin, mm-hmm. and every time we see each other, we just straight beefing every single time. No reason, no nothing for it, we just beefing. We gonna have to take out the time and just simply ask ourselves, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, there's really no reason for us to have this situation of beefing. So exactly, like, what are we doing? Same thing with friends. Like, there has been many times where you have had a relationship with a friend or anything like that would happen where you just like, y'all have a fight and then, somebody would text each other and be like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Like we're doing too much. Like, this is not us. So you have to take out the time and realize, are the things that I'm doing right now beneficial for the future?
Right.
So let me ask you. So I'm gonna ask you, what are the steps of having a successful career or a job? Like, what do you think that would be?
The steps to it?
Yeah.
I would say the steps to having a successful career starts with knowing what you really want to do.
Okay.
But at the same time, don't pressure yourself into thinking that what I'm doing right now, I have to be doing for the next 30, 40 years.
Right.
Because you always can change your mind.
Right.
I mean, I have an aunt. She was she's a school teacher now, but she was a hairdresser. Mm-hmm. And them two ain't got nothing to do with each other. But, she was tired of doing it. She liked teaching. Now she teaches math. Got her master's degree. I mean, people change their minds when they go into college because they expect you to have your mind together at 17, 18 years old.
Without guidance. Without guidance or leadership, just already have it together. And like, I've noticed a lot of people, especially like, in college, like when trying to find your career, it is simply hard because every day you wake up not putting forward like 110% into your effort. You always find yourself asking, what are you doing, like, as far as like going through these courses? Because I know there are a lot of students out there that only went to college because their parents told them to. Truth be told, I was really one of them. Like, I didn't even want, truth be told, I didn't want to go to college. I did not. But like, I wanted to go to college for audio recording, but my mom wanted me to go to college for computer science. So, as obedient child as, I am, I did one semester and I failed. Like, I did one semester of computer science and I failed on purpose. Only because I was simply asking myself every single day, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, you know, like Jeryn was saying, it's not good to just go into a job and not loving what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, because, you know, like she said, you could just switch. So
Totally
make that switch and now I'm doing what I really want to do. So
I mean, don't just do something. You know, your parents are gonna always want better for you,
right,
and that's good. But at the same time, listen to what they're saying. Although you might already have it in your mind. I don't want to do that. They want me to be a doctor. They want me to be a lawyer. That ain't what I want to do.
Right.
But it's just because they want you to be successful.
Correct.
And in their times, success was
the doctor,
being a doctor or being a lawyer.
Yeah.
But times have changed. You know, you don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer. There are people who never went to college and they're making buku money. They're living their best lives, going on trips. You know, and it's because they're doing something that they have passion for, and they have found a new route to making more money and being successful. You don't have to put in the long hours anymore. We're in a new day and age.
Right. And even knowing that a degree is not guaranteed doesn't mean that, you know, just because you do your 4 years of a bachelor's or even 5 years of a master's or even, you know, longer to get your doctorate, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to get what you asked for.
Right.
Like, you have to realize every single morning that you wake up, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, why am I going to school? Why am I going to job? Why am I trying to do right in life? Like, for example, your mentality. Like, what are you doing to keep yourself sane?
Right.
Because, you know, the smallest things can trigger a human being. Like, I know a lot of you have been, like, are easily triggered, and it's okay. But you have to allow yourself to realize, you know, what are you doing and what are you allowing yourself to get you easily triggered? I mean, because it's a positive and a negative reaction to any and everything you do. If someone come up to you and say, hey, look, I don't like the way you look, you can have a positive answer or you can have a negative. Pick positive.
Right.
But, you know, of course, you know, but you have to allow yourself to know, before I make this decision, what am I doing? Like, is this decision that I'm going to make, is it going to be beneficial?
Right.
Or could it end up being painful? And I feel like another question would be, what are you doing as far as your health? Like, are you drinking your water every day? You know, are you walking daily? Are you eating the proper things? Are you telling yourself, hey, look, I'm only surround myself around positive people.
Right.
I'm only going to surround myself around, you know, people that's going to take away the toxic, you know, because there are a lot of toxic people in the world. Like, are you allowing yourself to stay healthy both physically and mentally? Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste, child.
It is.
A terrible thing to waste. So I want to know, is the thing that you're doing, is it helping or is it hurting you in the long run?
Right. I feel like people should ask themselves, where am I now and where do I want to be? And figure out the first step. You don't have to figure it all out right now. Just figure out, okay, this is where I'm at.
Right.
And I want to have a house like this. I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to have a decent career, making good money, you know. And you just figure out, okay, well, I want to have the career before I have the family.
Right.
So let me put myself in a position for me to get that career. How do I do that? Well, let me look up different ways. Well, how do they do this and what are they doing? And, well, ask somebody. Ask the person who is in a position that you want to be in. How did you get here? What did you do?
Right.
Can you know, take out the time to actually sit down with somebody who would benefit your future. Stop putting in time with people who fit in your past and they want to stay there and not do any work, make any progress in life. I mean, you know, you want to help people, but you can't help people no more than they want to help themselves. So,
Lesson. That's a life lesson.
Just have to say, you know what, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And so I'm going to go for it. I ask somebody, oh, well, how you started this podcast? How you,
right.
You know, that's what I want to do. How you?
Right.
And they'll take out time to talk to you about that.
Correct. Like, you know, a lot of people have created businesses, you know. How do you make a t-shirt or how do you create a wig, or how do you how do you allow yourself to market yourself? Like, how do you start up? Like, how do you get an LLC, or how do you make your business legit? Like, how do you make a website? How do you wake up in the morning and still be ahead of the team? Still be ahead of the game and everybody around you. Like, you have to allow yourself to start asking those questions. But first, you have to start asking yourself, what are you doing? What are you doing yourself? Like, if you see your competition waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you waking up at 8. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh,
They starting at 5 o'clock.
Exactly. Like,
They getting their day started, and you probably, I gotta get up.
Sleep.
Oh yeah, legs hurting,
Body hurting.
moving all slow, and they done already started. They 3 hours into it already. They probably done made their beds, done made themselves some breakfast, and they started their day off energized. And what are you doing? You still laying around in your pajamas, not getting up. What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself?
Still worrying about what happened last night.
Worrying about what happened last week, last month, like that benefits you. That is the devil's tactic, really. It's to bring up the past, something you have absolutely no control over.
Right.
Something you can't do nothing about.
Right.
And you kind of spruik, just kind of sitting in it and thinking about it all the time, and that's not benefiting you. What are you doing? Really ask yourself, what are you doing with yourself? What are you doing to benefit your future? Is what I'm doing right now benefiting my future? Always drinking, always smoking, always partying. I ain't going to class. I'm not looking into getting a job because I stay with my parents. I ain't trying to do nothing.
Eventually, you're going to get caught up.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get caught up. You're going to get caught up.
And then next thing you know, you 30 and you ain't did nothing. I ain't got nowhere. Not to say that at 30 years old you can't change your mind and get it together, because you can. It's just don't let time be wasted, and don't live in regret. Make up your mind today to be like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. Only you can tell yourself what you going to do.
Yeah.
And only you can hold yourself back from doing it. That's why we burning boats. Do or die.
Explain what that means.
To burn the boat is no turning back.
No turning back.
It's no turning back. You can't go back to your old ways and your old habits and your just the old life that you were living. You make a decision to live a new life and do new things, and you do it. It's do or die, sink or swim. You put yourself in a position where I gotta go. I gotta do it.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Every single morning, you gotta go hard. You gotta go harder. Every month, you gotta go harder. Every week, every hour, every second, you gotta go harder. You gotta go harder. And allow yourself to try something new. Like, allow yourself to burn out. Like, if you never have did a burnout ever in your life of working constantly, try it just to see if your body can do it. Hey, you only get out of life what you put into it.
Right.
If you put in mediocre work, you're going to get mediocre work. If you put in 10%, you're going to get 10%. If you put in 100%, you're going to get 100. You just got to simply ask yourself, am I going to do this or not? And another thing is, you have to stop waiting on people. You have to stop waiting on people to do stuff for you.
Right.
The topic is, what are you doing, not what are they doing over there, or
I'm gonna wait on my friend.
Doing. Exactly. Like, you can't really wait on people to give an opportunity when you can create your own opportunity. Like, stop waiting on people to say, okay, at this time we're gonna do this. No, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, like John Cena said, time is now. That's it. And like, I think about when you find out what you're doing in your life, you need to give yourself an evaluation. Like, a lot, like, at the end of the school semester, they always, ask for a teacher's evaluation. Give yourself an evaluation. Like, give yourself an evaluation of, okay, in these key points, I am strong. In these key points, I am weak. So you can allow yourself to go back to the drawing board and just simply say, okay, Luke, I need to write down my flaws. I need to write down the things I can fix, and I need to write down the things that I technically cannot fix. And then when you get all that together, oh yeah, your tens will turn into hundreds. That's simple. And after you ask yourself, after you give yourself an evaluation, you have to ask yourself, where am I in life right now? Do I want to be there for another 10 years? Like, do you want to constantly be an Uber driver for the next 10 years? Or do you constantly want to be an intern for the next 10 years? Like, do you want to give yourself the chairman's position or the boss lady or the boss man position? Or do you still want to work for somebody? Do you want to have your own business, or do you want to work for somebody else's business? Because at the end of the day, the boss going to get paid the most. The boss writes your checks. Allow yourself to become the boss so you can write checks for others instead of whatever they give you, you got to be satisfied with it. You know, and I got a question. Can I tell a story?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to tell a story of a teenager and a dad. So there was this 16-year-old who just got his license. And when he got his license, he ran to his dad. He was like, look, Pops, you know, I done got my license and everything. Look, I'm certified, I'm legal, you know. Let me get the car. So the dad simply was like, man, all right, I'm gonna make a deal with you. If you can make straight A's, I give you the car. I will, you know, better yet, I won't give you my car, I'll buy your own car. Don't you wish you had a daddy like that? Paid off. So as the story goes on, as school goes on, when it's time for the teenager to do the homework, he's playing games. When it's time to study, he's outside. When it's time to go to bed, he on the phone to, you know, whatever time in the morning. And whenever the dad sees his son, he always just asks, you know, what are you doing?
Right.
Now while he's supposed to be studying, he's just like, oh, nothing, you know, just relaxing. All right, cool. Time go by. As time go by, he simply asks his son while he's supposed to be studying, he's outside playing basketball. Son, what are you doing? Nothing. Okay. Son, it's time to go study. All right, I'm gonna go study later. Son, what are you doing? Nothing. So at the end of the semester, when it was time to show the report card, he had all A's and a B. He had all A's and one B. Now, for him to get that car, he had to have all A's, right?
Yeah.
So the guy looked at his dad and was like, Dad, look, I got all A's and one B. So the father sat down with his son and was like, do you remember every time I asked you, what are you doing? You always say nothing. I was just sitting back, just watch you do nothing. And he simply told his son, the reason why you're not successful right now is because every time there is time to work, you want to play. So now he carless. But he still got his license. So the very next year, he had to put down all the playing time, all the phone, all everything, and made everything that he needed to work for him become a priority. Got his car.
Right.
So the moral of that story is playtime is over. It's time to stop playing. It's time to stop playing. You play after the work is done.
Right.
You don't play during the you don't play games during the playoffs. You grind during the playoffs. Even when it's off season, you have to play. You have to play less and play when it's time to play. It's simple. So when it comes to the question of what are you doing, me personally, I'm always on the move of evaluating my life, always knowing and asking people every time they see me with a mask on, it says invest in yourself. I always ask people, you know, what are you doing? Are you investing in yourself, you know, for the positive, for the negative? So, Jeryn, what are you doing?
I'm investing in myself
You are.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that answer.
And you put yourself in position
Mm-hmm.
to succeed, and then you're able to put other people in position.
Right. Let your team eat.
Because a good leader, a great leader, works itself out of a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to first put in the work.
Right.
You know, I've been seeing all on social media where people are saying this grind is personal.
Mm-hmm.
And make it personal. You don't have to make it about anybody else, anyone else, anything else. Make it personal. Be like, you know what? I need this for me.
Right.
I don't want to be working by the time I'm 50. And it's very achievable. Put yourself in position. Figure out what you need to do. And do it. I mean, you just do it. Just do it. I don't
Like
know
Nike.
what else to tell you. Just do it.
Yeah. And another thing, like what I've learned and what I've heard and learned about people is whenever you ask them what they doing, why they get caught, have you noticed that they first thing they always want to do is simply complain? It's kind of like, you know, like when you catch somebody in the act of doing something, it's like, oh man, all I'm trying to do is, make something shake for me, and it's the only way I gotta go, so I might do, what I gotta do. And it's just like, that self-evaluation I was just talking about, like you need to go back to the drawing board.
For real. And take out some time and
You know,
figure out,
like,
do I really need to do this?
like a lot of people simply always want to complain about stuff instead of gaining the knowledge of how stuff works out. Like everybody always want to go the easy way or do the runaround of actually making something work instead of just like, okay, how about I take out the time and actually line everything out. Like a lot of people simply want to complain and want people to just drop an opportunity in their lap instead of actually creating one for themselves.
Right.
But why do you think people do that? Like, why do you think people always want to complain about stuff and never, work themselves?
They're probably conditioned that way.
Condition.
With their surroundings, the people they surround themselves with, they do the same thing. You never had to really work for anything in life, so you don't.
Yeah.
But you set yourself up for mediocrity.
Right.
I mean, if you want more, then you put yourself in a position to get more. People, they're like, oh well, my mama gonna take care of me. She got me. Okay, but your mama not gonna always be here.
She sure won't.
Yeah.
She sure won't. You gonna have to allow yourself to create your own lane. I mean, because some people, they are fortunate enough to have roads already, paved out for their liking. But for those of you that wasn't born with a silver spoon, make you one.
The good majority of us.
Yeah, the good majority of us. If you weren't born with a silver spoon, make you one.
So you can pass it on to your kids.
Exactly. Like, I found out that the Waltons, like the people that actually created Walmart. So the father, like the guy who actually created Walmart, he passed away, and his children actually, all they got from the rest of it was just long story short is they sold the business, and the only thing they got back was just money. But I feel as if their value in the actual business would have took over them, I felt like they would have still had the thing running. Like Walmart itself would have still been a better running corporation than it is now, because it's kind of like if you give me $1,000 and telling me that, hey, this is the only money I have and I needed to start up my business, but I know that you are successful and I need you to pretty much use this $1,000 to make it work. if I use that $1,000 to go on a boat and spend $1,000, you're gonna be looking at me funny, right?
Right.
And the problem with that is because when someone gives you an opportunity, you running away from it instead of running with it.
Right.
And I feel as if people need to stop running away from opportunities. Like if someone ever gives you an opportunity of making your life better, stop running from it. It's literally like you asked for this, so why run from it? Like people literally all day, every day, I hope I get this job, or I hope I get this relationship, or I hope I get this house, or to get this car. But it's just like, okay, cool. You gonna get it, but then once you get it, don't run from it. It's kind of like, if you want something, then work for it. And once it gets to you, don't run from it. Because really and truly, if something run from me, best believe I'm finna go chase it. Best believe I'm about to go chase it. So it's either you're going to be the runner or the chaser. And regardless of whatever the situation is, you have to allow yourself to always remember, what are you doing? So I think it's time for a little game.
Okay.
So the game is just like the topic. It's going to be called What Are You Doing? And, y'all could always, join in, write down your comments down to each one of these questions. So the objective of the game is me and Jeryn are going to ask each other, what are you doing if, fill in the blank. And, y'all can write down your questions as well, in the comments below and everything. Or you'll write down, what would you do if you was in a predicament? So, ladies first.
Okay. Let's see. What are you doing to achieve success?
What am I doing to achieve success? I am simply waking up before the competition and going to sleep after the competition. And with the same 24 hours that everybody else have, I'm simply right now in my planner every single hour of my objectives. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing with time? What are you doing with time?
Time is of the essence.
Yep.
I mean, you could choose to waste time.
Yeah.
Play with your time. Me personally, I have to take every moment and say, look, I don't have time to waste. People nowadays, they dying left and right. I don't have time to waste. Tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
With my time, I'm going to use it to be there for people. Simply be there for people. We all go through something, and you have to treat people with kindness and with respect. And so with my time, I just want to use the time that I do have to be the person that I want to be. And no, I'm not going to always do the right thing.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to make mistakes, and there are going to be bumps in the road. But
You're going to learn from them.
I have to take that in and move forward. Can't sit there and think about it all the time. You just have to move forward and say, you know what, with my time, I want to be there for others.
Right. Okay, your turn.
What are you doing with your mindset?
Oh, I'm evolving. Every day, I'm evolving. Like, my mindset of 13-year-old Cam was play, run away from problems, run away from the process. All my fears were literally in front of me, and they were literally attacking me every single day. But 23-year-old Cam, you can't stop me. I'm working harder than you, your friends, everybody. I'm hustling harder. I'm investing harder. I'm thinking harder. I'm thinking smarter, and I'm making it work. So that'll be my answer. What are you doing if you won the lottery?
Well, I gotta get my 10%.
Yes, Lord.
10%.
Yes, Lord. That may be the first thing.
First and foremost.
Yes,
I have
Lord.
To get my 10%.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Thank God for all that He's done for me and this.
Of course.
This blessing.
Head of my life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then.
Yeah. Take your time.
Gotta. I feel like I would have to give myself the opportunity to do for others.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't necessarily mean like you just giving them money,
Right.
but it's just if you start a business, and then hey, I got something I could do for you. Why don't you come over here and we'll talk about it, write it up. This will be your pay. And you just kind of helping them to do something for themselves.
Right.
But I ain't just gonna give you no money. Show you the work for it. This is how you do it. And then they come in daily. They coming in sometimes early and they getting started.
Right.
And that's the type of person that I want to be. I want to be the type of person that gets other people involved and they pay it forward and they get other people involved because they've started something, to pass on to somebody else.
Building your streams. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. What's yours? Let it be a good one too.
Oh. See, when I met you, it was back in school.
Right.
And I couldn't tell you, I couldn't tell what you were going to be or what you would be doing.
Me neither.
And then now to see where you are in life, it's I'm intrigued, to see how far you go, what more you're going to do.
Right.
Because you got a lot going on. I'm like, okay.
It's just the beginning.
Right. So because it's just the beginning, I'm like, so what do you see as being like your end goal? Like what?
So pretty much you asked me what am I doing overall? Okay. Overall, Cam Campbell is trying to change.
Boss man Cam.
I'm just Cam. Overall, I'm trying to create an outlet to motivate people, to uplift people, and pretty much create lanes that other people never received in their life. Like as far as me creating a clothing brand, me having my podcast, me doing the movie thing, I want to be a person that created a lot and have done a lot in order for people to realize that, okay, I'm not just stagnant, on one thing. Because even though I really did not want to go to college literally taught me how to create multiple streams of work, not just income, but of work. Like I've learned how to do the film work, the behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, the recording, the editing, the photography, the marketing, all that. I didn't really have a choice because I wanted to graduate college. So I just made it do what it do. I learned how to simply invest in yourself. So yeah, that's my little two cents on a spiel of Cam. Yeah.
I mean, I'm intrigued.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, wow, Cam doing stuff. I mean, like you just. I mean, at first I was like, okay, he got the shirts going, okay, but then it was just like, bam, got the podcast, bam, I'm doing a movie. Like it was just stuff, and he was just like, wow, he really moving. He's a doer. And so when I reached out and I was saying, hey, I want to buy one of your shirts, I was like, I want to invest in somebody who's a doer, somebody who's doing something, who moving, you know, because we all talking about this, oh, I want to do that, and I want to do, but you doing it.
I ain't got no choice.
You doing it.
I don't have a choice.
Man, like, you done put yourself in a position where it's like, it's do or die. You done birthed the boats. You doing it.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging to me. And so I was like, yeah, I want to get on the podcast. Yeah, I want to talk with Cam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm lit now because I was like, yeah, I want to.
I'm just here.
I was like, yeah, I want to be able to say, yeah, I know that man. Yeah. I want to be able to say, yeah, we just sat down and talked because Cam doing big things, and I see it. I see it. You doing big things, and it's only the beginning. Yeah, only the beginning. This is the start.
Man. I just do what I do and do what I can. And, like, I'm the type of person, because I'm literally the only child, I feel like I was given a platform of, you're going to have to share. Because, like, from age maybe born to maybe 14, you know, I was always that, you know, give me. Until it was like, no, that ain't how life go. In order for you to be blessed, you have to start blessing others. And I realized that was a powerful statement, because I'm the type of person that's just like, I want to start bringing people onto this podcast, you know, who never had a outlet before. Like, you know, if you want to start speaking, I want to be there for you. Like, I feel like that's what I'm doing personally. Like, I want to start allowing people to start creating their own paths.
Right.
And, you know, not many people have that, you know, person to be like, look, you want 5 minutes of fame? I got you. And yeah, lights, camera, action. I gotta edit it though. But you know, other than that, but you know, just a one-man band, you know, on the road to success.
You doing it.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Tear.
You doing this, man. I'm proud. I really am.
Thank you. It's only the beginning. I'm really, you know what? I might put that on a t-shirt. Don't y'all steal it though. But yeah, no, I'm playing. But you know, this concludes the episode of What Are You Doing on the Self-Prolific Podcast with the host, the one and only Cam Campbell, and my special guest, Jeryn. We'll see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
You better wake up and get it. Ain't got no time for no quitting. Your pockets might be on midget, but that's called temporary digit. Get off the couch and get lifted and say that this how we did it. Cause it all started with a podcast called Self-Prolific. Let's go.